I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Here we go. It is Thursday, y'all. And my daughter, Caitlyn, I just got to see her for the first time in over a month.
Aww.
Yeah, so she is back and brought me all kinds of goodies. And so, yeah, we're getting a little bit of a late job, but I had to spend a little bit of time with my daughter. So she's in the other studio, and she's watching right now.
I love following all of her adventures as a nanny that travels with the family that she works for, and they go overseas on fun vacations.
Oh, crazy.
I want to be Caitlyn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just if you go follow her on TikTok, you can see the videos. And, yeah, it was just unbelievable. I mean, that whole part of the world is just, it's so gorgeous.
It is.
It makes me want to travel.
Well,
I want to go there so bad.
It looks so different than what we're used to.
Yeah,
that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, and the style and everything's different. And, yeah, she brought me some stuff. One of the things, now this is a chancy move, but this is from, they went to Monte Carlo. And this would be kind of an Italian-ish type of Monte Carlo hat. And it's got, some artsy stuff on it. And you were saying maybe that paired with the linen suit.
Oh, my gosh. That with a linen suit and some loafers would look so fresh.
You'll be winning with some linen.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
That's a fun hat.
Yeah.
By the way, I love linen style. It's such a nice, cool look.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
And it makes you feel European. It's got such a European, Mediterranean type look.
It wrinkles. That's the only thing that sucks about linen. You just stand, Kevin.
I bought some
Just
stuff.
stand. Don't sit.
I bought linen stuff off Amazon Prime, and to your point, my gosh, it is not an easy thing to keep not wrinkled, and they shrink a lot too. I'm sure
Shrinkled.
I'm sure that the good stuff doesn't shrink.
Yeah,
but linen's a tough bitch to
It
tame.
is a challenge. Yes, it is a challenge. And then she brought me a shirt from Pompeii.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's that's artwork by Andy Warhol.
Wow.
Yeah, he painted that. That's if you don't know what Pompeii is, Mount Vesuvius, in 70 AD, this volcano goes off, and there was a town, Pompeii, right at the base of it, and the lava just covered up the whole town. It basically killed everybody in the town.
Oh, my.
And as they start to undig the town, you can see how people were flash frozen by because I think steam comes first, and they just died in their tracks. And you can even see the facial expressions of some of the people and just what was left behind, because it basically turned them to stone. It's the craziest thing.
That's horrifying. Let me see that picture again. That's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah.
That design does got some VV going on. Vagina vibes. Tell me they don't look like a vagina slightly.
Okay.
You can't see it?
Okay.
It looks like a volcano. I mean, I guess you see what you want to see.
I see a bikini. I don't know, man. I see a chat room. Tell me you don't
see
see
an erupting vagina?
Tell me you don't see a vagina in that picture.
If it's erupting, you better get to the gynecologist, girl.
I don't think you're looking at the right area.
And you see what
Where's
you want to see.
the what?
Too.
What's
what
the...
Okay. If you're watching KVJ TV, he's making a V shape where it would be kind of like inverted from where the volcano goes up. So
Interesting.
You're still not seeing it, Virginia?
No, but okay.
It's like one of those pictures where you have to look for a second and then you see the vision.
Okay. Did you see vaginas and everything?
You see what you want to see.
Like if I gave you a little Debbie oatmeal cream pie, are you going to see a vagina instead?
I'm getting a lot of some people. I'm seeing. I guess.
Really, Jbird?
It's a stretch. She's a stretcher.
Oh, it spoke to me. Maybe I should shut up.
Maybe you should get yourself a girlfriend.
Yeah. So there you go. So that was nice. I get to connect with Caitlyn. She's here. She works a couple more days, but then she's done on Sunday. So I get to hang out with her on Sunday.
And then on Sunday, is she off for a whole month?
She's off for a little while. I don't know. Her schedule, it fluctuates, but she said, I think it sounds like at the end of August, then she has to head out of the country again. They go to another place.
Fancy.
Yeah, down in the Caribbean.
Well, if she ever needs an assistant, I work for free.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. She's accumulated quite a lot of adventures and some interesting stories. So, one day. Let me see. Got a lot of stuff to get to here today, and one was yesterday. It was Virginia really digging in about an email we got from Rosalia, and she was contesting what Virginia had said on the regular show about the deal that we had heard where the Kelce brothers are looking at a $100 million deal for their podcast, which that's just absolutely crazy. And then the question was, okay, how much of that is the Taylor Swift effect based on that, driving the numbers? Because this New Heights podcast now is the 4th most popular podcast in all of the United States. And I believe that is not just sports podcasts, that's all podcasts. That's massively impressive. So Rosalia, she sent another response here today because apparently she's looked into things, and she says, does Virginia refuse to listen in her old age? Of course. Of course Taylor helped. No one is denying that, but it's not the only reason for their success. That's all I was trying to convey. Glad Kevin understood that from my email. #1 sports podcast in 2022 before Taylor. I know it's not in depth because Virginia is right. Who has the time? Sorry, Kev. But this was the New Heights with Jason and Travis is the #1 most popular sports podcast on Spotify. It's businesswire.com is the source. Now, Virginia has something as well that comes from Edison Research.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back pre-Taylor, their podcast wasn't even in the top 200.
Here's the story. In Q4, which that's the end of a year, if you're not familiar with how the quarters go, there was a 4 times increase among listeners in the weekly podcast from the NFL Playing Brothers. And the podcast was #6 overall in the U.S. during the final 3 months of 2023. In Q3, the podcast was ranked number 67. And in Q2, it wasn't even among the top 100 podcasts. Now, you might argue that people listen more to a NFL football players podcast during the season. And so maybe the fact that, because I know that there are some football podcasts I haven't listened to since football ended. So, you could have that fluctuation naturally as well. But also, as we got into the fourth quarter, that's when the relationship was really steaming. Taylor Swift was going to Kansas City Chiefs games and all that kind of stuff. Now, Swift's noticeable effect also comes in when examining the breakdown of the New Heights audience, which is now 50% female weekly listeners. In terms of the top podcasts in the U.S. among females age 13 plus, New Heights was also #6. New Heights was easily the top sports podcast in Q4. Its position at #6 overall put it just below Dateline NBC. Now, the closest sports competition was Bill Simmons, Pardon My Take, and the Pat McAfee Show. But the closest was number 31. And they're at #6. So, yeah, Q4, it did erupt. But the biggest stat to me is 50% female weekly listeners. Now,
That's Taylor Swift.
Well, and I know the NFL, though, does arguably have high female numbers. They will tell you that there are a lot of women that love football and do watch, so that's part of it.
Listening to a sports podcast, I would say that your Bill Simmons, your Pat McAfee's, those are probably 80 to 90% male.
Where did you pick that article up?
I'm making that up.
Pinkalize.org, this whole
Edison Research.
This whole entire
Edison Research, sportsbusinessjournal.com. Take it up with them.
Edison Research, they're a Republican. They get all their funding from the Republicans.
You can say sorry now. And you can kiss the ass of Taylor Swift, just like Jason Kelce and his brother better be doing, because she is a kingmaker.
Oh, I'm not apologizing for shit. I went on the record yesterday saying I didn't know diddly dick about diddly dick when it comes to this entire conversation. I was just hoping and praying you were wrong.
I was not.
It would be interesting to see, without the Taylor Swift effect, would the Kelce brothers still be beating, for instance, a Pat McAfee, Pardon My Take, all those? or without a doubt, she has definitely inflated their numbers.
If Grandma had balls, she'd be Grandpa. There's no if.
Okay.
If and buts, candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas.
Okay. Thought there. I assume Travis is very well aware of the kiss that his career has gotten since he's been in this relationship. I'm sure that he strategically sought it out. And now the big question is, if she starts to weigh on him and he starts to kind of get over it, what is that internal dialogue like?
Stick
for
it
Travis
out.
Kelce?
Stick it out, man. Stick it out.
Look, we've all been in that situation where you're in a relationship and you're like going, oh my gosh, I can't take her anymore, or him, or whatever it might be.
You'd have to take you're exiting a war. Like, you have to take it as that.
My God. If you want to talk about the podcast I'd listen to, I haven't listened to the Kelce brothers, and I don't really care to, but if you could hear the internal dialogue going on in Travis Kelce's mind about his debate on the relationship with, I would listen to that every day, all day. I would be a P1. I would be a dedicated listener. I would never miss an episode. That would be so fascinating. Be like, dude, your numbers, you're looking at a $100 million deal. Oh, she's so annoying, and all she does is talk about cats.
He's not sick of her yet. They're still in that honeymoon phase. You're looking for an internal dialogue that I think will happen right around like year 5.
I've got to listen to so many Taylor Swift songs. I think this music is pure shit.
She doesn't listen to her own music.
No, he does, because they always ask him questions about your favorite song and your favorite lyrics and all that, and he has answers. So he is doing the work.
He goes to the shows. I think he's a fan. I really do think that he is silly and loves it and dances around.
Okay.
He did all that kind of stuff before they got together. I think they kind of both really like her music.
Okay, so it's complete bliss.
Both of you can be right, by the way. I mean, I agree. 5 years is usually when all my friends start hating each other when they're together.
If you can get past that 5-7 year hump, I think you're good. If you still like each other after that, you're good. But it's tricky to get past that 5-7 year hump.
It used to be 7 years, but now I think it's, in modern day times, I think it's 5.
It's sped up.
If you can get to 5 and not want to, if you're happy, and I know there's a lot of happy people out there that have been together for a long time.
I haven't met any.
No, you're happy
kidding.
with Panda.
I'm just kidding.
What's your percentage of happiness with Panda?
Oh,
If this is a Rotten Tomatoes score, what's your happiness with Panda?
90%.
10%? Is that all to do with him not taking out the garbage?
Yeah, probably.
What's your Rotten Tomatoes score of being with the Queen?
Oh, 100.
Nobody has 100.
I do.
Nobody has 100.
How do you know?
Men that live in fear do.
Yeah, he looks like he's a hostage right now.
Okay.
Wise answer, though.
Yeah. Canadian Bacon thinks that they're going to get married and start a family. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I agree with that.
All right.
Whenever this Eras tour thing wraps up, I think she's going to go have babies and he's going to be the baby daddy. And they might not get married.
Okay. All right. Crazy.
They might be non-traditional.
Yeah, 58% of people think that they will marry or at least go and start a family, even if they don't. All right.
We should have put a third option on our poll.
Yeah? What's that?
Who gives a fuck?
Aww.
That's fun for the people who don't give a Come on, we gotta. I thought we were.
Well, when they're talking about $100 million, clearly somebody cares.
No, I agree. I think there's definitely a big percentage that cares, but I was just having fun. I'm sorry.
They are a beast.
Yeah, it's impressive. Not my thing, but it's definitely somebody's. Well, we heard more from L&L here about the summer of Vlad.
Oh, an update? What has Vlad been up to since they kidnapped him?
Yep. Now, you know that when Vlad was abducted from our live show in Boca, he had some leg issues. Jbird, do you remember what happened to his leg? His leg was kind of snapped in half.
His leg was kind of like your leg, a little effed up.
Yeah, is it his left leg by any chance? I wonder. Hold on. I hope this shit isn't turned into
The parallels.
Yeah, it's turning into a real life Twilight Zone episode.
Turns out you are Vlad.
Or a Black Mirror episode. Yeah, he gets hurt. His leg gets fucked. My leg is now fucked.
Yeah, you're connected that way. Whoa.
I hope it's on his left leg. To be quite honest with you, I went to grab him to show him off to my friends one time, and his foot was missing. And I go, that's odd. I had no idea why it was missing. I really, to be quite honest, I don't know why his leg was missing, and then he got brought to the movie premiere.
Okay.
I think that was a little rough for him.
He had a rough night that night.
Yeah, he's not
Okay.
the only one. I had a rough night. I drank a lot.
Was he overserved too?
That's the night where I turned it into a tailgating party before.
I kept going outside, and all there was just this cloud of smoke out in the front of the Maltz
People
Theater.
were drinking.
I'm like, has the Maltz ever been smoked out
No,
so hard?
Definitely not. Not at all.
They actually said, too, it was top 2 best-selling alcohol night of their career
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Maltz.
We got some drinkers.
Our audience does drink. I'd say the majority of our events, they're drinkers. No?
Yeah. I mean, look, game recognizes game. We bond over drinking, y'all.
So they said in recent developments, Prince Eric suffered an unfortunate accident after swiping Vlad's blondie. Remember that? Prince Eric moved in and took the girl that Vlad had met in Key West.
Yeah, Vlad was in the bushes watching them. That's kind of weird.
So in a weird way, it sounds like Prince Eric is possibly no longer with us. It says coincidentally, he was also an organ donor. And
They offed him and took his organs.
yeah, apparently Vlad finally got his leg/boot transplant.
Really?
And wound up gaining a few inches.
That's funny.
Yeah, you can see there a deceased Prince Eric. He is no longer with us with the crossed out eyes.
Oh, wow.
He's dead, and there's Vlad. Now, would you say, when you say right or left leg, is it do you judge it by your perspective or the person looking at you? Because his right leg is fine. It would be his left one from his perspective.
I mean, his right leg doesn't look so great.
Both legs are not good. So his left foot is fucked up, and his right leg is really fucked up. And I say go ahead and go for the transplant. Vlad's earned it.
Yeah. Okay, so they did the transplant, and as you can see, it was successful. And now
What?
Vlad has got brand new legs. Look at that. Look how good he looks now. He's
I
actually,
wonder if we could get that for the real Jason.
I mean, he is actually coming back. His whole summer has been an improvement. He looks better. He's got legs.
I say it every time. He's never looked healthier.
Yeah.
he is strong and tall, and those are the
Yeah.
legs of a prince.
Yes.
It really changes his gait.
Yeah.
It does.
He's a whole new doll now.
We need to get you a prince leg.
They did a great job on
That's
that.
amazing. Look at him. Holy crap. Can't even believe it.
We could not have had better kidnappers. I mean, these are the kidnappers of your dreams.
These are
Yeah.
these are the best kidnappers I've ever seen.
You guys are doing the Lord's work, and we appreciate it.
I mean, you guys got me confused. I don't know whether Vlad needs to come home. Does he need to just continue to stay out?
Wow.
I don't even know anymore.
And then to celebrate his new legs, they made a run because he could, and they went to Dunkin'.
They got a sponsor.
They made a Dunkin'
They
run.
got a sponsor involved.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There they are at Dunkin'. You can see Vlad got himself, looks like a delicious powdered donut.
I mean, they are doing the work.
They
Vlad runs on
are.
Dunkin', yeah. Vlad, and now he can. Vlad can actually run on Dunkin' because he has a working leg now. And they said Vlad also wants a little exposure to impale more South Florida tail.
Okay.
He wants to impale the tail.
So he wants a social media account, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has his own Instagram,
He
apparently.
does.
which we'll pass on to Jbird when he returns to continue Vlad's legacy of adventures.
we need to
So,
put him on Tinder.
yeah.
Yeah, he would clean up on Tinder.
I'll check this out. Yeah, you can go to Instagram, vlad.the.impaler.kvj. Looks like that'll maybe get you there. So if you want to go see
Wow.
Vlad's Instagram.
He's already on the gram.
I mean,
Yeah.
we gotta get him. We gotta up his profile. That's amazing. Thank you for taking such good care of him.
And
Thank you for being awesome.
Exactly.
L&L is asking about the Duffy's gift card. Any
Yeah.
kind of movement on that?
We do have movement. We've spoken to Duffy's. They're ready to give it to us whenever we want it, whenever we want to do the exchange. We suggested to Duffy's that we do the exchange at a Duffy's and make it a celebration. They love the idea, so
I do need that backup.
I don't know if I want Vlad back, though. Look how happy he is.
He's doing really well.
I
We're
know.
never going to treat him that good.
But eventually, everyone's got to go home, Virginia. Everyone's got to rest.
I know, but
Even Vlad.
man, he's having a rumspringa. I don't want to snatch it from the boy.
It's tough. I imagine he's going to be a little upset because he's looked great. And then how long do you give those legs after he comes home?
He's going to come home and kick you square in the balls because he doesn't want to be there.
When he comes home, that's when the pain really begins.
It's just,
He's going to be like,
daily...
no.
I freaked out the possessed doll. He don't want to come back.
He looks amazing right now.
That's what's amazing about this. Panchita said, Kevin, are you tired of reading Shogun? Yeah, half of it is in Japanese with the subtitles. There's an English version. Says, do not press play right away. Instead, scroll to episodes. To the right of episodes, you'll have Shogun English dub. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, there's part of it because what they're supposed to be speaking when they speak English is Portuguese. And I got to tell you, there is something about the authenticity of shows when they're speaking another language that I think I appreciate the authenticity more than I'm annoyed by the reading. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I get it. I had the same thing with Narcos sometimes. I loved it when they all spoke Spanish.
Yes.
I loved it.
And it had so much more to it. It feels to me like it brings me in. And when you know they wouldn't be speaking that language, it kind of throws me off. Now, there's a little bit of the suspension of disbelief. I know they're supposed to be speaking Portuguese when they're speaking English, but I can kind of forget that. But I think if I let everybody speak English, I just don't know, Virginia. I might try it out and see how I feel about it. But it's nice to know. At least it's there. And in case you do want it for that show. And the show's solid. I'm going through season 1, trying to watch as much as I can. It is a slow crawl. I get about maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day tops to watch it, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Engineer Keith, talking about your social media, said, what does your social media suggestions say about you? And if you go to Instagram, you ever see that where you go to search for something and it kind of gives you a bunch of different options to
Yes,
show?
it shows you a bunch of like reels that it thinks you'll like.
Yeah, he said every time I go to the Instagram suggestion thing, it's nothing but depraved options, which makes me wonder, what is it trying to say about me? Here's what I got on mine. There's a cement 3D printer. There's a guy getting his leg run over. There's some Slavic hillbillies dancing with a weed whacker. Arnold Schwarzenegger's face deep faked onto Hawk Tuah girl. A guy huffing paint and a guy wearing a microwave as a helmet.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Or is this your alibi, Engineer Keith?
I think that it sends you random stuff too. Like you might have watched a video of a guy getting his leg mutilated and you might have stayed on it just 2 seconds too long. And now it thinks that you like that. That happens.
Wouldn't that be something if all of a sudden I went to my Instagram and all it was Engineer Keith videos?
Yeah, I wonder what, maybe it'll tell you. Can you see what your Instagram shows you, Bird?
Yes, I can.
And then how odd is the options, or is it just everybody is kind of getting the same? Because we have the KVJ show Instagram, and then we have our own personal Instagram. And I'll tell you, my personal Instagram, for the most part, it is nothing but sports stuff. And so, yeah, if I look at mine, I think it does kind of speak to you because that's what mine is. And it's, it's all football stuff. It's football, some basketball.
Mine doesn't have any football or basketball.
Yeah, see, mine is nothing but sports, a little bit of Olympics. But, I mean, mine makes sense. So, yeah, Engineer Keith, what is on his? If that's true, you are looking at some other weird stuff, man, that it thinks you want hillbillies dancing to a weed whacker and a guy with a microwave as a helmet.
What if I found out Engineer Keith was a murderer?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And he said he's been playing this cat and mouse game with us for years now.
That's what it is? Yeah.
He's the motherfucker in my backyard.
Are you trying to write a next KVJ horror movie?
I love Engineer Keith. He was in our last horror movie.
You want to sign him for a bigger role?
Engineer Keith was probably 7 different characters in the movie. He did a great job, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't tell us you'll work for free. We will work you.
Yeah. Got an email here from Nicole. It says, I work at Sprouts Farmers Market. I heard that Virginia's daughter Magnolia might have a gluten allergy. Well, then just download the Sprouts app and search the gluten-free products. It'll give you a list of products that are gluten-free and Also, you go into the store, you can look for the orange label that's labeled GF gluten-free.
Oh, we will be if we have to go down that path. We're still waiting for blood work results. Thank you to everybody that sent me all kinds of ideas of other stuff that it could be. We will check them all out.
What do they think it might be? Other things other than gluten? Because she's getting rashes or getting sick, right? She's getting ill?
She's getting ill. Her skin has been breaking out with acne. She has had stomach issues. She's had vomiting, but it's intermittent. So we can't figure out what's causing it. Like sometimes she'll eat gluten and be fine. And then sometimes she'll eat gluten and throw up. Sometimes she'll eat chicken and be fine. And sometimes she'll eat chicken and throw up. We're trying to figure out. So hopefully the blood work will give us a better indicator.
Okay. All right.
We got our doctor involved. We got the whole
Sounds like that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Rather than guessing, you can find out. Yeah, because I know, like I said, my wife recently had found out, I think, through some blood work. She didn't have any idea.
Yeah, and you can develop this at a later point in your life. You may have gone your whole life fine with gluten, fine with peanuts, fine with all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, one day, you're like, bam, stomach problems. Bam, here's your sensitivity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the way it goes. Now, Jeremy's got an odd question. He said, would it be weird to you guys if Kevin's son dated Virginia's daughter? I think they are close in age.
Cannon and Mags?
Oh, my
Max is what,
goodness.
19?
She's 19.
Cannon's
16.
16. That totally could play.
Yeah, in their 20s at some point. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be that weird
I don't
if she was
think-
27, he's 24.
I don't think you guys would be weirded out.
She wouldn't entertain it now
Yeah.
because she had a little neighborhood guy that liked her, and he was only 2 years younger.
Okay, yeah.
Very wealthy, wanted to shower her with gifts and take her out. And I was like, go, who cares? 2 years doesn't matter. But for her, these are pivotal 2 years. High school, college. She couldn't get past the fact that she looked at him like a little kid.
Yeah, and that'd probably be tough. I mean, because she grew up with Cannon. That'd probably be odd for her.
Yeah, I don't
respect.
see it happening now. But yeah, in their 20s, who knows?
You never know.
Then
What might
you'll
happen.
never get away from Virginia.
We'll be family.
I know that'd be amazing.
It's so permanent.
Well, the only thing, and I don't think Mags is that much into it, is that there is nothing in Cannon's life except for sports. It's
Kind of like his daddy.
It's sports video games.
Yeah.
It's just sports, and there's I know Mags likes going on the boat and doing other things, and
I don't
She's
see it.
not in with sports.
I don't see that a match by
no.
now.
She would go to a football game, but she's going for the social aspect. She
Right.
would go to a basketball game, but it's only because it's on a date with some guy who's into basketball.
Yeah.
Like she's not seeking out sports.
Yeah, I don't. In fact, as far as I know, I don't think Cannon has any girlfriend, and it might just be because I don't think he could talk about anything other than sports. So I don't even know what he would say. So I think that's kind of a challenge.
You better get that little boy well-rounded before he gets out there in the dating game.
We're trying. We're doing what we can, Virginia, but
Expose him to something besides sports.
there's just nothing.
You should make him do cotillion.
What's that?
So it's like
Is she ramping up into a terrible idea, Jbird?
Just
I made Magnolia do it.
yeah.
Our friends, the Donahues, they made Brady, their son, do it when he was in high school, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He hated it.
What is it? Is this like charm school or
It
something?
is.
Denny's went to this.
You learn how to function in a social situation
okay.
when you have to go to dinner with a girl or when you have to ask a girl to dance. You learn how to dance with a girl. You learn how a table should be set. You learn how you should conduct yourself in a formal social setting.
I never went to cotillion school, and I know how to ask a girl to dance. You ready to shake that shit?
That's right.
There's no shaking shit at cotillion.
That's how we do it in Lake Park. Who's ready to shake that shit?
You loose-moraled man.
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine Cannon would hate that to a high level.
And that's why you should make him do it.
Okay.
Because it makes him have to step out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
I don't like kids in a comfort zone where they're just only exposed to one thing and they're only they should be forced to do things that they don't necessarily want to do.
Okay.
We do it to Rocco. I definitely did it to Mags.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good for them.
Okay. Yeah, the biggest conflict right now is just his whole year it would mean sacrificing him doing sports at some level, and he would be really upset about making him do cotillion instead of doing his
There's no
sports.
shot you guys are doing cotillion with
No.
Cannon. He's in.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Clearly, with my language, I didn't go to cotillion. I'm a little rough around the edges, as they say. Cotillion. That guy don't cut. First of all, it sounds real cheap too. By the way,
It's not crazy expensive. It is.
Okay.
It's way less than these sports.
cotillion in 2024.
You don't got to buy travel gear for cotillion.
How much is cotillion school in 2024?
It was less than like $300 for the whole, whatever it is, 8 weeks. You do 8 weeks of lessons. It's every Thursday after school at a off-site location, and it included the formal cotillion gala at the end, which came complete with food at the breakers and dancing with your classmates, and it was very fancy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that there's anything on this earth that would interest him less.
Or Kevin. Kevin's eyes rolled back.
Rocco right now is so mad at me. He just found out he has to go through First Communion. He
Yeah.
thought he missed it because of COVID, because
Oh,
he was
right.
supposed to do First Communion when COVID hit and they canceled it. Well, they sent me an email saying, First Communion's back on. So he's doing it, and he is not happy. But, I don't really care.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to make you do things outside your comfort zone because that's how you become a well-rounded individual.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is definitely some value in that. So, yeah, Cannon has to do the thing that we fight. He has to do tutoring, so for his math, and he hates that.
Gosh, man,
Yeah.
Cannon, I hear you.
Yeah.
I just hated math so much. It made me angry.
He does
It stressed me out.
Everything
actually.
he can at all. It's Wednesday nights, and he does everything he can to get out of it. It's unbelievable.
I remember I took a stats class, and the first lesson they taught you was 1 out of 3, 33%. I'm like, this is like baseball shit. I got this. And then they started going, Klugman's law is this, and they started going
Klugman.
all these theories, and
Yeah.
within 20
it's
minutes,
tough.
I was like, no,
Right.
no, I hate math.
Yeah.
And I know some people love it.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Those are
he's,
people that went to cotillion school.
he's good at it, but he doesn't like this. So, yeah. So there you go.
Is he doing? What, algebra?
No.
Stats?
No, I don't even know what he does. It's honestly, it's too a lot. I've never even heard of it. He's at a different level. So,
High level?
He's at a high-
Trigonometry?
yeah, he's at a very high level now.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
wow.
And he struggles with it.
He'll need those numbers, though, when he becomes a high-level bookie.
Honestly, that's what I mean. That's why I think he's destined to be in the gambling world because he is really good with numbers. He's great with math, and he loves sports.
He'll run a casino.
I mean, look.
He will run a casino.
Yeah, when they have career night at the Hard Rock, he's going to be there. I'm a great parent. I'll be at the bar. Let me know when you're done, son. All right, y'all have an amazing day. We got one more day to the weekend. We'll see you back here for the Friday KVJ show. Goodbye.